everybody. Welcome to this inaugural conversation in a series of 4 where my friend Lynnae and I are going to talk about very basic things like what is access bars? And that's the topic for today. We've got these were stimulated because I've got some live classes coming up in San Diego, California in February. But honestly, if you're watching this in the future, this is just to give you some new information and sort of share our story of change. So, hi, Lynnae.
Hi, glad to be here.
Hi, it's nice to see you. So, how do you and I know each other? Let's start with that. Who are you? What's happening?
Gosh, Crystal, it's been probably almost 4 years, three and a
Yeah.
half years. Like my introduction to Access. And I probably have been in contact with you every week since then.
I think so.
In one program or another, private coaching, and yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is so great. You're amazing.
Thank
And
you.
can you tell me a little bit about so access bars, you guys, is 32 points on your head that when somebody lightly touches them, either make you feel like you had a great day at the spa or your life changes. And there's kind of no middle ground, at least that I've found. It's like you either just kind of like enjoy it and you feel more relaxed, or your entire life changes. For me, my entire life changes. Lynnae, do you remember the first time you came in contact? Like, how did access bars find you?
Through the internet. It was just one of those, I can't even tell you how it
Yeah.
did. But
Yeah.
I went to a class. I went to Denver. I mean, it's so weird. And someone was talking about some of the tools and the clearing statement, not mentioning access. But then somehow I came home and I found a bars thing.
Yeah.
I'm not even knowing what that meant. So I had a bar session, and I come from body work as a
Yeah.
holistic health practitioner, massage therapist, past Reiki master 25 years ago, and all of that. Um, it was about my 6th session. Well, there were so many things, but my 6th session, I laid there. Well, there was a couple where I laid. There were so many.
Oh my God.
I laid there, and it was like this clarity of this moment. When am I going to stop healing the girl who's giving me a session? For me, that was transformational because being that healer, being that energy, I don't know how to shut it off or don't even know that it's running.
Yeah.
And so I laid there and I was like, stop, Lynnae. Like, what would it be like to just receive? And so that was like, it took about 6 sessions where I hadn't even realized that I couldn't even receive for me. So, and then since then, I probably have gotten my bars run almost every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know about your first. So, what was your first bar session like? Did it make an impact on? I mean, you kept coming back. So, what was your first bar session like?
Um, my first bar session, the universe hooks us up with who we're supposed to be. But me and this girl actually had gone to a school and graduated from that very, very, very few people even know exist. So that was our first thing. It was like, wow. And then so that was
So there is a connection there from the past. Like if she's into this, you
we
can.
didn't know that. I didn't even know who she was.
Oh.
Oh, no. Zara. And no, so that was like it bringing it together of like, oh my gosh, you went to
Yeah.
that school, I went to that school. And
Okay, so first session was like, do you remember it? Like, was it impactful? You were like,
it was impactful. It was impactful. And then, of course, I booked a package with her. And
Okay.
then that's who I took my first bars class from.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What was your draw to taking bars? Like, did you just liked it and you wanted more of it? You wanted to teach? Like, what was the draw to taking the class?
Um, I just had to.
That's usually how it
And
goes.
I didn't actually promote my business for a while because I was doing, verbal coaching and all that stuff. And for me, the business took off by itself. I love that, just being that energy of that and then having people. So I have a really big business today with not, it just grew. And I love when you give a session of any type, you also receive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I think about how many sessions I've given and how many I've received, the amount of transformation and change for all of us is indescribable.
Yeah. So for those of you guys watching, the science behind bars is has been studied by a neuroscientist. Essentially, it's that we are dissipating the electromagnetic component of thought. Now, I don't. I was taught that thinking is what you do. Like you have to think about something, you know. And so by the time I got to bars, I was a mess. I was a mess. I was an overthinking, emotional mess. And nothing I had done so far, and I'd done all kinds of things, you know, therapy and psychiatry and religion and body work and breath work and EMDR and, you know, it's a lot.
All of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
In an attempt to try to heal the trauma that people were telling me was the source of all of my trouble. And, you know, by the time I got to bars, I was just at the end of my rope because I'd literally tried everything and nothing was totally working. I was returning to this dysregulated state, I guess you could say. So what bars does is it dissipates the electromagnetic component of thought. So when we as a being are actually acoustical, and our bodies function better with acoustical waves. But we're taught to do all kinds of things that are electrical. And when you do things that are electrical, when you try to function like a computer, it locks everything up. And so that's the science behind it. It dissipates the electromagnetic component of thought. So basically, like but it's the thing is that it's too easy and it shouldn't work.
And you can't put words on it. Well, you can, but you can't.
Well, and
you're not.
right. And so somebody's literally sitting at your head, and you're fully clothed, you're on a table, they're holding your head, and they're putting their hands in different hand positions. And what they're doing is they're touching all these different points in your life. So money and control and creativity and, you know, healing and form and structure and creating life forms and creating connections and body and sexuality and joy and sadness and, you know, form and structure, all this stuff. And so they're touching on these different areas that hold all these considerations from any lifetime in place. And for us to have problems, we have to be functioning from considerations that are not really functioning that well. You know, you and I have done a lot of classes and stuff around money, for example. Like, did you have initially, we've worked on some points of view. What are some of your money is hard.
Money is hard. And you know, I was thinking about this the other night. When I started working with you, I could barely move my body. Do you remember that?
Wow, I do remember that.
And I had so much pain. I mean, it was indescribable. Even when I started doing bars, I thought, how am I going to hold that? Because the arthritis and everything in my hands was so intense. And I do have to say, probably 95% of that's gone. I'm not on medication anymore, and I've changed things in my lifestyle and stuff, but the direct result is moving that energy. It was so heavy and compacted in every cell of my body.
I remember that now.
I mean, I just can't remember. I was just like, please help me move this. And so not really realizing, you know, the tools and everything, we're going to keep lightening that up. But it's a direct result truly of the body work. Yeah.
It's so wild because like energy is our first language and everything's made of energy. And so, yeah, like when we try to solidify energy, we solidify energy by coming to conclusions, but then we also like pick up on all this stuff throughout our lifetime. And by the time any of us find access consciousness, we're usually this like,
so tight.
yeah.
So tight, like a big rock.
Wow, yeah, I'd forgotten that it was really extreme.
Yeah.
So for you guys listening, like, so bars starts dissipating all that compacted energy. And the cool, I mean, you and I did do a lot of verbal sessions. We did use a lot of the verbal tools and we had conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But do you find like the more bars you do, bars don't require much of that. Bars are just like you lay there and you receive, and that stuff just kind of melts out of your world.
That would be, yes. And it was a word that I wasn't familiar with before Access, and even this kind of bars, and is this place where I was so compacted. It's the only way I can explain it. And every session expands more my body. And so, I mean, energetically. And so,
Energetically, yeah. So it isn't just relaxation. It's almost like relaxation is the side effect, but it's more than that. It's like this.
and the other thing is, I do have an opportunity to work with a lot of people in recovery
Yeah.
who PTSD, who we call it trifold sequencing, where it's like you keep looping on the same thing over and over, trying to figure it out, trying to go underneath it, trying to go over it. And that is one of the greatest things for me is I don't have that anymore. And the clients that I work with, that's the greatest gift. I don't have to use a drug or anything. I'm 32 years clean and sober next week. And I wish I would have had the
Bars.
ease of this a long time ago because the biggest thing is it stops the chatter. It stops we call it the hamster wheel, where it just won't shut up, which makes us kind of crazy.
Oh, not even kind of. Like,
Yeah, really crazy.
really, like
And
I felt crazy so much in my life. I'm like, I'm just fucking,
yeah, really.
how do I
And
make it
it
stop?
dissipates that.
Yeah.
And so when
Wow.
people get up or when I get up, it's like that sense of like, you can't put words on it, but we always describe it of like, I just feel nothing, which
What?
nothing means weird because most of the time when we feel nothing, then we want to fill it up with shit so that we don't feel the space of ease. That's what I kind of was like, oh my gosh, I'm so
I'm
light.
so something else. I'm so light. Exactly.
And I didn't know what that was. It
What
took
is this? I'm used to feeling like a ton of bricks.
totally. And then wanting to reel back in drama, trauma, shit, all that, so that
Which we
I
can totally do.
compact
But
it again into
yeah.
space and ease was just so foreign. And today I thrive in that of just like, and so does my body. And so to give that possibility to other people in their bodies,
Priceless.
it
It's
is.
literally priceless. I don't know anything that functions the way the bars does. I
I
don't know
don't.
it.
I've tried
Me
and
too.
been and done so many modalities. And that's why this one sometimes it's like, can it be that easy?
Yes, yes, it can.
Yeah.
All of life can really come to you with ease and
Mhm.
joy and glory. It really is possible. Yeah, when I first, I mean, I've told my story, but and I won't go into it too much. But like for me, finding bars was just this. I was pretty skeptical because I wasn't really a bodywork person. I was more, I liked living in my head, so I was more a head person, you know. So do stuff that is, but I didn't have any other choices. Like I tried all the other things, so I was finally like, okay, fine, I'll have a session. And my session was 90 minutes, and I had it with a certified facilitator who added in all this verbal processing,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was great.
Mhm.
So I got both. I got the bars and the rope, but I got off the table and I literally felt 10,000 pounds lighter. I didn't even know you could feel that light, exactly what you said. And it was so dramatic to me. The sensation was so dramatic that stuck with me. And then like 1 or 2 or 3 days later, what I really started to notice was that the stuff that we had handled in the session, which isn't really required, but we did it, stayed different. Like it didn't revert. And I was so accustomed to working on something and feeling better, but then basically 3 or 4 days later having exactly the same problem. This stuff stayed different. I just felt different. I was different. That was it. It changed me. I'm new. I'm like, what is this? I think, like,
Yeah.
how does this work? And then so I did the same thing. I bought a package. I think I had like 4 more sessions, and then I took a bars class too. But I took a bars class so I could get to foundation. I didn't have any interest in like working on people. I didn't really care about any of that.
Hmm.
Which was I ended up doing. I actually ended up creating a whole business out of it, but I took it to get to foundation, and then to
Yeah.
create the money for foundation, I ended up creating a bars business, and then I got all this benefit from creating a bars business.
Hmm.
So whatever, you get to where you get to, how you get there. But it doesn't make any sense, and it shouldn't work, but it absolutely does.
I had a session on Saturday. And people always ask me, do I trade or whatever? No, I pay somebody because, I'm important enough. I need to receive that. And that was something I didn't do for myself when I was a massage therapist. So I broke my body down. And so it was like, no, I pay somebody, I receive. But that section of what percolated in my awareness is still clearing today.
Wow.
Like I keep having those moments of like, oh, no, that doesn't work anymore. Oh, that's where that's stuck. And you don't have to go into the feelings of it, which is magical. I just, I'm aware. And then, what else? What else? So.
Yeah, amazing. I got my bars run yesterday. So actually for us, my partner runs bars and I run bars. So we tend to work on each other, like just, it's not necessarily always a trade because we kind of like longer bars. So one day me, another day him. And last night I got my bars run kind of at 4 p.m. and I still had some work to do, but he's like, why don't we run your bars first and then you can, do some more work. And so it was like an hour and a half of bars, and I didn't even sleep during. A lot of times I'll just pass out during bars. I didn't sleep. I was just watching a movie and had my bars run. It didn't really feel like much, but I got up and I was doing my thing, and my head was so clear, and I had so much energy, and I actually ended up being up like 4 hours later than I expected to, and I realized like my body rests to a degree that I really don't get when my bars are being run, whether I sleep or I don't sleep. There's a rest that takes place that literally doesn't occur through sleep. It's like, it's so different. It's so energizing. It's so clarifying.
Well, for some of us who don't sleep well,
yeah,
it is a different, just to have that, right? I think the brain waves slow down.
everything.
And so, and if you're a tosser turner up and down, I don't even know if my brain waves ever slow down in the middle of the night.
Well, and we need to, you and I are going to talk about entities, which is another thing about sleeping.
True, absolutely. Yeah, one of your classes you'll be teaching.
Yeah,
Can you come
yeah.
here?
Yeah, bars, wow.
And
So,
I will add too, I think it's great to learn bars so that you can trade within. I mean, Max doesn't know what he's doing, but I still go, put here, he's open. I run his bars. So that is something that we give back and forth to each other. And he's just available. Put your fingers on there and, we'll run the energy together. So
yeah, it's something we gift the family too when they let us, when his mom lets us, we do that.
my mom calls it a treatment. She wants a treatment.
Yeah, the therapy. Call it a therapy. Yeah.
I want a treatment, one of those things.
Whatever you call it, just do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So wherever you guys are in the world, there is a bars facilitator near you. Literally, bars is in 100, I think, almost every country at this point. I think there's like 4 countries we're not in. So there's bars everywhere in the world. And I facilitate bars. Lynnae facilitates bars. You just have to find a bars facilitator. You can go to accessconsciousness.com/access bars, and there's a whole thing in there for you in 20 languages, I think. You can pick your language.
Awesome.
And I'm facilitating live classes as of the recording of this in San Diego in February. So I have a bars class. I've got a foundation class, a Talk to the Entities intro. You're more than welcome to come to that. And if you're watching this in the future, you can go to accessconsciousness.com/Crystal Crawford to find more classes. There's so many resources for you. Like there's literally, it's getting harder and harder not to get your bars run.
Yeah, as we're out there spreading it and so forth. I will say that Crystal's coming from Colombia to San Diego, and I so appreciate it. It's not just a quick hop on a plane drive over here, so I appreciate you. I asked and I shall receive, and here comes Crystal. So, and it's always crazy to work with somebody for so long who has dynamically changed your life, my life, and I haven't met you yet, so I can't wait to.
I know, we haven't met in person. I can't believe it. It's going to be so normal and so weird and simultaneous.
And all the people that have met you through me, because that's how it works, are excited to meet you because you become part of their life too. So.
It's such a miracle, the internet.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you guys need some change, we have it. It's available.
Yeah. So what classes are you going to be teaching?
So bars, Talk to the Entities, and Foundation. And you can find all that on accessconsciousness.com/Crystal Crawford. You can go to crystaljoycrawford.com/San Diego. And
Foundations, do you mind, can you give a few words?
No, because we're doing another video about that.
We are?
Okay, we'll do a few words.
Okay. Are we doing it?
Yes, we're going to do a live on entities. We're going to do a live on Foundation.
down for that. See, I just love it. Okay. So just a quickie, because I have a hard time putting it.
Okay.
I've taken 3 foundation classes. And
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a quickie. So foundation is the 4-day class right after bars. So you take your bars class, and then the next possibility is other body process classes, but the next big possibility is foundation, and it's 4 days long. Foundation is where we shatter the foundation of your current reality so that you can have access to choices to create a reality that really works for you. And it covers everything. Like literally there is no stone unturned in foundation class. You get tools to deal with entities. You get conversations around entities that you didn't even know you needed. Relationship and sex and people skills and what things actually are, what's right about you, you're not, stuff about you that you wouldn't have even suspected. Foundation to me is like the articulation of everything you've always known was true that you never had the words for. And so much of that 4 days for me was like, oh my God, like just epiphany, like it was this combination of relief and gratitude and epiphany, but epiphanies from long ago where you're like, I knew it. I mean, I always felt wrong for that, but I knew something was off about that wrongness. I knew I was just different in some way. That's what foundation is like.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that explanation and then some. And if you've taken 1, 2, 3, every time I take it, I'm not even...
It's not even the same class. I mean, it's
not even the same class.
It's not even the same class, yeah.
Yeah. I took the first class with you right when COVID hit. And we did it online.
Yes.
That was the first one. So,
and then you had another one.
I've done 3, and this will be my 4th.
Yeah. I've done probably 50 plus, and I love this class. This is like my favorite class. Yeah. I'm probably going to say that about every class, but literally, like, I love facilitating foundation. I love going through foundation because I've been doing access consciousness for 10 years now. That class is the most advanced manual you get ever in the whole of access consciousness. Every single thing in foundation you can use to change your life, and that's all you need to change your life is what's in there. It's like a miracle. Yeah. Gary basically goes, here's all the treasures, and we kind of look at them and go, thanks, and then we set them to the side, and then we're like, wait a minute, you gave us everything.
I feel that way about the bars manual.
Same.
Like the girls I've had the opportunity people to teach is don't put it away. No. Because the tool it's a powerhouse, and I've taught many times, and probably you taught too. When you read it, every time I'm like, oh, that's in there. Oh, that's in there. So
there's
that manual,
so much in
put
there.
It away. Keep bringing it out. Yeah.
Absolutely. The bars, yeah, that's funny that you said that. I remember actually a good friend of mine who's was a certified facilitator. We were starting to facilitate together, and we had a bars class on, and we opened up the bars manual. We hadn't opened it in like 7 years because we're advanced.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, was that question always been in there? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, and that one? She's like, yeah. So I was reading this, and I'm like, that is awesome. So I ended up making like a couple of the questions from the bars manual into screensavers for my phone and like changing my life about.
Yep. And that's why I encourage people, if you do get your bars run, take the next step honestly and learn how to do it. Take a bars class, because of what you receive. Yeah. Besides the exchange and the give and all that is the clearings, the awareness. It's power packed. There's more beyond. Yeah, it really is. So
yeah. So if you guys need more information, you want to connect with either one of us, please do. And we'll be back next week to talk about what is foundation in more detail.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
Bye for now. Bye.